Welcome to the Indie Author Showcase. I'm Chad Robert Morgan.
And I'm John.
That's the best you can come up with.
I'm John.
This is my reluctant partner in crime, Alexander.
John.
Alex.
John.
I'm not John.
I'm John.
So, this has actually been kind of an interesting week. Okay?
John?
You can stop that now.
Okay.
That's not helping.
Fine.
Okay. So, this has been kind of an interesting week. So, this is a little bit of a story. So settle in, get your popcorn. But it starts with a friend of mine, Lana Barron. Now, I used to work with her at Double Helix. She is an actress. She's done at least one independent horror movie that I've watched. And she's doing another one that's coming out soon called Behold. Okay? What does this have to do with books, you ask?
What does this have to do with books, I ask?
Okay, we're getting to that. So,
Thanks.
now on Facebook, I have a lot of different groups that I signed up for to help promote my work, right? Whenever I have a book launch or I have an event like Son of Monsterpalooza that's coming out, I posted on these Facebook groups. Some of them are horror authors, some of them are just horror in general, that kind of thing. So, since Lana's my friend, I saw the poster for her movie, the post on Facebook, so I shared it with a few of these Facebook groups that I have. One of them is for a podcast that I've been listening to called the Sex and Horror Podcast.
Wow.
So that post got a comment from the admin, the author Dicey Grinner,
Right.
one of the co-hosts of the podcast.
Right.
So we got to talking, and in a couple of weeks, I will be interviewing her here on the Indie Author Showcase.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And in November, they will be interviewing me, her and her co-host.
Oh, yay.
Now, you know this is cool news because he's legitimately impressed right now.
Yeah, no, I'm you did something.
Yeah, he's usually very sarcastic, like, oh, wow. No, this is legit impressed
Yeah, no,
here.
you did something. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
This is new. You succeeded. I'm so proud of you. I know it must be a new feeling.
Wait, I think it's a new feeling for you, having pride in your father.
No, it's in pride.
It's kind of like that Simpsons thing. It's like,
I feel so full of... What's the opposite of shame? Pride? No, not that far from shame.
Less shame?
Yeah.
I love hydrating. But yeah, I'm not feeling pride. I'm feeling like
just less shame?
less shame. Yeah.
Less shame, yeah.
That's
Thank
accurate.
you, Bart.
You're welcome.
Because it's a Simpsons gag?
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah,
I get
okay.
it. Yeah, it's
Oh!
I get it. It just wasn't funny.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's funny on The Simpsons. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, if I hadn't murdered the joke by mistelling it so badly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
no, that probably would have helped.
Yeah, not my fault. It's just yours.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got that lined up. I'm still, excuse you?
Funny dog.
Yeah, I'm still trying to line up interviews with Scott Campbell. So, again, Robert S. Campbell, or Scott to us at work, wrote the follow-up to a Lovecraft short story known as The Rats Beneath the Walls. And so once a month we do, so another quick story. Ever since COVID, my company has been primarily work from home, right? COVID's over, but since we worked so well from home, we didn't stop. And in fact, some departments just went complete work from home. One coworker of mine that runs our bi-weekly Dungeons and Dragons game, him and his wife actually moved to Maine.
Ooh.
Right. And also, funny note, his wife edits my Intergalactic Space Force books.
Oh.
So yeah, Shannon edits those because she really likes the Intergalactic Space Force, and she's a good editor and she works really cheap. I am reaching out and making plans for my next horror book to team up again with the editor from The Baby Eater, Liam Ford.
Thanks, Liam.
So, well, Liam is excellent, but he is really expensive. So I kind of save him for the hardcore horror novels because I know Shannon doesn't like those. She loves the sci-fi comedy of the Intergalactic Space Force. She also edited the first Short Bites book that we've done. She says that was okay. The kind of PG-13 horror, she's fine with that, but she doesn't like the hard R. So, so for that, I'm looking to team up again with Liam.
Right.
So, but since we all work from home, once a month we do kind of a go back into the office and chat. And the next one's scheduled on the 16th, so I'm trying to get to see if on the 16th I can finally get that interview with Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Scott, there's also Scott Harper, who's been very willing to do a interview with us, and I'm going to try to schedule him for next Monday because I happen to be off that day because my day job is totally awesome and tries to give us a 3-day weekend every month. And sometimes they really have to stretch to find an excuse to give us a 3-day weekend. This month is Indigenous Peoples Day.
Man,
Yeah.
as a white man, you really benefit from that, don't you?
I don't know what was wrong with Halloween, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, it happens. It happens.
So anyhow, I'm going to be off Monday, so I'm going to reach out to Scott and see if that works for him, and we can interview Scott Harper. So hopefully we'll have 3 interviews just this month alone.
Yay!
Yeah. Now if we can get 3 viewers, that would be great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. One thing first. First the content, then the viewers.
Yeah.
So we're going to get some cool content.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Then hopefully we'll get some people actually watch it.
It both old.
And the biggest part is, if you don't want to, you don't have to be there for any of it.
I'm so happy.
Do you need?
I could cry.
Do you need a hug? Do we need?
No, I'm good. Don't worry. I'm so happy I could cry tears of joy right now.
Now you can't be there if you want to be.
No, I'm
It
good.
could be fun.
I'm good.
All right, no, I'm just saying.
I'm so happy.
Yes, Hellhound.
I'm so joyous.
And of course, we could not go with one podcast without being interrupted by the Hellhound of the podcast, Denim, who decided now would be a good time to play.
He's just a little guy.
I know. He was sleeping. And he's like, oh, what's that? They're recording a podcast? I must go play with them now. This is why we have a Patreon. Do you remember our Patreon?
No.
It's patreon.podbean.com/indie author showcase. Donate to the Patreon. We call you out here as a supporter. If $1 a month, we call you, put your name on there as a supporter, $5, and you also get an Indie Author Showcase t-shirt.
Yay.
And if we get some real patrons, we might actually build that up and have even bigger rewards. But let's just start with this. Let's see if we can get anybody to help us get a dog-free studio. You know, that's actually, yes, we're talking about you. This is actually kind of a realistic goal because right across the street from us is some office buildings. And they always seem to have a 2-man office building available for $500 a month.
That's a big number.
Well, considering what rent is around here, not really. It's relatively small.
I mean, you just live in that.
Huh?
You just live in the office building.
No, probably not. So, point is, we can't exactly afford it right now, but it is a not unreasonable goal. And we actually talked about this. What would be, I think, a cool idea is if we had it set up for the podcast. We're only going to use it once a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if we turn that into our own business where we rent it out for other podcasters. So people like us who are starting out as a podcast, we could rent it for like, $50 an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, voila, then it can pay for itself. Assuming there's enough local people that want to start podcasts.
Which is a very niche market.
Well, there's a lot of podcasts. You never know. Oh, something launched like today as we're recording this podcast.
Wow.
I wish I had heard of it sooner because I would have loved to participate in it, but by the time I heard about it, it was already going live. So maybe next year. But it's called Terrify Your Tablet.
Right? What's that?
Well, what it is, or the gist I got, is authors donate their books, their ebooks, and this publishing company, Horror-Smith Publishing, they run this promo for like the month of October. I don't know if it's for the full month or just today. I'm not entirely sure because, like I said, I just found out about it. But the important thing is all these books are indie authors, and the proceeds go to charity. I believe they said that this month or this year, the proceeds are going to go to the victims of the latest hurricane that has hit the East Coast. So check out Terrify Your Tablet because it's for a good cause, and you're supporting indie authors. So it's a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Yay.
I definitely want to try it next year.
Yay. Yahoo.
And somebody is being... Yes, I know. I know you want attention. I'm trying to do a podcast. Do you see me trying to do a podcast?
Want me to lock on my side?
No, I don't want you to log on, so you're just going to make even more noise. But this is why we have a Patreon. So we can have a dog-free studio. Yes, we need a studio with no puppies. So you want to wake up for the rest of the podcast?
Yeah.
Mister, I've been running around all day doing D&D stuff and running all over town.
Yeah.
Actually, there is one more bit of news. Where are we going tomorrow?
Fall Fest.
Nope.
Scary Town.
Closer.
Spook City.
Nope. We met these people at Creep IE. We are going to Fear Farm IE.
Oh, Fear Farm IE.
So, the IE is for the Inland Empire, which is basically if you're in California, you're talking Riverside County. I say that because apparently when I was looking this up, there's a lot of Fear Farms across the country. So the one here in Corona is Fear Farm IE. So if you are local, if you are in the Inland Valley, the Inland Empire, we're going to check out Fear Farm. And I say we post videos on our socials and say, hey, look, this is how it is.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a fun time.
Okay.
So that's going to be tomorrow night. So look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see if your Aunt Robin or your mother scream the loudest.
Okay. I'll scream louder just to make a point. It'll be like a small child will be like, boo, and I'll be like, ah.
Well, aren't you bringing a friend?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to scream in front of your friend?
Yeah, it'd be mad funny. Dude. Oh, I have to.
You ought to bring a girl. That's what you ought to bring.
Oh, right. There you go again.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Your dear father wants you to have a date. Go.
Oh, my.
I know. I'm so mean. Girls, he's available.
Why do I do that? Because I knew you were going to do that.
All right. So, are we ready for the book review?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let's get we met a couple people at HorrorCon this year.
We did.
We did. I mean, HorrorCon was slow, but it did give me time to meet a lot of indie authors because there was a lot in there. In fact, there's another one that I met that I want to get one of her books. So Erin Lewis is a former stripper turned author, and she's written several books about being a stripper and her experiences as such. And I just recently read a collection of short stories by her, which we won't review on this podcast because, again, we only have 2 rules. What are the rules?
No erotica,
No erotica.
and it has to be indie.
Indie or small press, yes. But she does write horror books. So I did enjoy the short stories. Not one we can review on the show because you're underage, but it did encourage me to want to get one of her other books. So I got to get one of those and add it to the queue, which is growing because we did get a stack of books at HorrorCon. You're looking more and more like the chick from The Ring every day.
Yeah, I love making the joke. It's like, was it, guys? I'm edgy now. I go to My Chemical Romance concerts and Hot Topic. I love My Chemical Romance and Hot Topic. What?
Look, I'm trying to remember the breed of dog you're reminding me of, where it's got all the hair in front of their face and I can't see. Anyway. So one of the other people that we met there was
Debra Castaneda.
Thank you very much. And so we grabbed one of her books called The Root Witch.
Yep, and we listened to it on Audible.
Which is why she got bumped up in the priority queue. Because technically I bought this, that should have put her lower on the list, but being on Audible, I was able to multitask so I can listen while I'm driving. Audiobooks just get higher up on the queue just out of the convenience of it, unfortunately. But we do need to look at some of our other books that have been donated and see if any of those are on Audible and get those higher on the list. But as it is right now, we have Deborah's book, The Root Witch. So the basic plot of this book is that there is a forest where weird things happen. It's this aspen forest in was it Utah?
I think it was Utah.
Supposedly the forest is actually one giant organism. Like the trees grow from runners.
You could even say it's the root witch.
Ooh. Well, that was the gist I got, was the root witch was actually the trees somehow manifesting, like the roots would come up, that kind of thing. So what did you think of the book?
That's pretty good.
I will say it was a slow burn.
Definitely.
2/3 of the book is a lot of character development, a lot of strong character development. I thought that was one of the stronger parts of the book, was that the characters felt very real, that they felt, very three-dimensional. There's a lot of time and effort putting in there. And there's the occasional weird thing going on just to remind you that it's a horror book and not some slice of life thing. But then we get to about 3/4 of the way through the book, and it boom, right? Big, huge, explosive event, which was like, it was the money shot. That's when the book was at its best.
Yeah.
So much so that I felt that the climax was actually a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that it was like all of a sudden like 1 to 100. That's what I felt like it could have been built up to more. That's one thing I have to add.
Yeah, when it was good, it was really, really good. So we're on this slow pace. It is interesting, but it's mostly interesting because of what's happening with the characters, right? The story itself is not really progressing a lot. A lot of build up of the characters. That's a strong suit, right? Very, but when it does go all hardcore supernatural, that was its shining moment of the book.
Right.
Right. So overall, I would say I liked it, but yeah.
Yeah, same. I think it was pretty good.
If this is all we gotta say about the book, it's gonna be a very short goddamn podcast.
Well, I am also a very tired boy.
Well, that's your damn fault for running around all damn day.
Me, 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 me. Me, me, me. Just think about this: there's less for you to edit. That's also a good thing, right?
You know, considering I have to cut like huge chunks of it, it's gonna be like a 5-minute podcast. So we have one event scheduled left for the year. What's that?
Son of Monsterpalooza.
Son of Monsterpalooza, and that will be next weekend, the weekend of the 11th to the 13th in Burbank.
Yay!
So one last week to make some money and sell some books.
Yay!
You sound so
I
thrilled.
love money.
Then start working and sell some books when you're there instead of sitting around looking at your phone. See, the more books you sell, the more money you make. That's how that works. Yeah, no, you actually got to work. You can't just sit there and mooch off of me for 3 days. We go to these conventions, he winds up spending like about half our earnings. I'm gonna go get lunch. I'm gonna go buy these rings. I just saw this really cool thing. I'm gonna buy that. The hell you don't. You spend your money faster, you can make it. Probably get that from me, to be honest. But that's all right. So, in fact, we have already signed up next year for Monsterpalooza in May.
Yay!
So we will. So at Son of Monsterpalooza, we're just going to have a table, which is good because it's a lot cheaper, right? So we're just going to be there selling books, and not a lot of merch. It's going to be almost all books. But in May, we're going to have the full booth. We're going to have our 3D statues. We're going to have our T-shirts, the whole 9 yards, and we're going to sell a lot of stuff.
Right.
All right.
Right. I'm a tired little fella. So, to find our merch, go to shopspectreinc.com where you can find the books, the audiobooks, the 3D printed statues, shorts, pants, beach towels, dildos.
No dildos. I keep
no
telling you, no
dildos.
dildos. We do not sell dildos.
Oh.
Speaking of the shop, I will tell you this much. I spent the afternoon arguing with TikTok because I had linked our store with TikTok, so our merch gets downloaded to there. And so I'm a busy guy. I got a day job. I'm writing the books. I'm doing the podcast and everything. I'm not paying close attention to the store, right? Turns out TikTok killed my TikTok shop.
Oh no, not the TikTok shop.
And I said to them, so what did I do wrong? Took them like 2.5 hours before they finally can get around and tell me why the shop was closed. I couldn't appeal it. Couldn't they're running me up the chain. So no, can't appeal this. This is automatic. You had an automatic violation. Boom. I was like, okay, what was the violation? Read our terms and services. That doesn't help me. I don't know which one of these terms and services I violated. What was it that was bad? So I guess what eventually happened was when I first set up the shop, they were asking for additional information to verify my identity, and I must have missed that email, didn't send it to it, and so they killed the shop. That apparently is what happened. But it took me like something like 2 or 3 hours to finally pry that information out of them. So killed the shop, built a whole new one, did the whole process all over again. Hopefully this one will actually stick around so that our ads and our products show up on TikTok and people can just order it straight from TikTok.
All right.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
But in the event of a TikTok failure, please grab your browser and go directly to shopspectralinc.com.
Yay.
And the best way to support the show, buy one of our books, leave a review. Remember, any of these indie authors we talk about, leave a positive review. This is all based on the Mel Brooks principle. Do you remember the Mel Brooks principle?
If you like our show, tell everyone but. If you think it stinks, keep your big mouth shut.
Say something nice or shut up and be quiet and go away and leave. And go away and be quiet and leave.
I think Mel Brooks said it a bit more cleverly than that.
No.
Yep. If you any of these books that we talk about on the podcast, we do the same thing when we get the books. If we don't like it, we don't bring a book on here that we mutually hate and just trash it. We are not here to bring anybody down. So any of the books that we mention on the podcast, if it sounds like it's your style, get the book. If you like it, leave a review. That is the most important thing that you can do, short of actually buying the book, to support your favorite author. Because these days it's all about the algorithms. It's all about the ratings.
Yep.
So please, if you like it, leave an honest 4 or 5 star review. If you didn't like it, don't say anything. Just say, all right, not my thing, and move on. Just keep it quiet. That's the best thing you can do to support fellow indie authors.
And with that being said, I think it's time we end the podcast.
Yes, my grumpy assistant.
Yay! Toodaloo.
We gotta find a better sign off than Toodaloo.
Nah, I like Toodaloo.
I really don't like Toodaloo.
I really like Toodaloo.
We gotta find something better than
No, I like Toodaloo.
Until next time.
Toodaloo.
God.